Alright, today we're starting off in the Nether because our plan is to make a Hoglin farm. We already gathered up all the materials we should need to build it, and now that we're in the Crimson biome, the very center of one, we're going to go ahead and make it up to the Nether roof so we can make the farm. Alright, we made it up here first try. Let's go ahead and build our portal so that we have a way back. And there we go. We didn't have a flint and steel, so I did hunt down the stuff and we made a fire charge. Now for the actual farm itself, we have all our building blocks right here. We're going to start by getting the hoppers and the chests down. This whole area is a crimson forest, so our only spawns are going to be the hoglins, hopefully. Alright, so we have the collection system set up. We have the soul sand on top of these. This is where they're going to be burning. We need to build up this middle pillar. It's going to be 6 tall and 3 wide. So let's go ahead and get this filled in. And that's 1, 2, 3. Alright, so this is going to be the tower where they come and they run and they hit the wall and fall. Now is where the trapdoors are going to come into play. So we have this giant pillar in the middle, and we're going to place trapdoors and flip them on every block except for the very bottom one, because that one's not going to matter and it's just going to waste our trapdoors. So let's get back up here, and we have 2 sides done now. We'll be back when we have all 4 sides done. Alright, next up we're going to be using a lot more of our netherrack. We're going to go ahead and place a temporary block there, and then we're going to build out from it on both sides. While we're getting this ring done with these temporary blocks, we want to break these right away before we forget about them, and this is where some of the shroom lights come into play. We're going to place them periodically every 2 blocks on here. I am building a farm designed by More Tings, I believe that's how you say it, and I'll put his link in the description. But then we go out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I believe we go 7 outwards. Okay, I just double checked, and yes, we're going 7 by 7 here, so we want to get rid of that. So now we're gonna place these in with the shroom lights. These shroom lights are going to be in a grid pattern so that they light up all the areas so only hoglins can spawn. And once we get these in place on all 4 sides, we'll cut back in and I'll show you guys the next step. Alright, so we completed all 4 side platforms right here. Next, we're going to place another temporary block down, and this is where the ugliest walls ever come in. I picked diorite because we've just got so much of it, it's unnecessary for us to have all of it, and I wanted to make some use out of it. So this is where we're going to set these. We do want them to go 1 past, and I'll explain that part in a second. And we want this one here because this way they don't go across and clip the corners. They'll have to fall downwards. So that's the reasoning for that. Now we have that part done, and this is where the dirt comes in. We're going to put the dirt at the end, and then once we have the dirt down, we're going to add warped fungi. When the hoglins spawn in, they're going to spawn on this platform. Because of the lights, that's all they can spawn here, and once they spawn in, they get scared of the mushrooms, so they're going to run this way. Once we get more trapdoors in, they're going to think they can run down here. And then once they reach down here, they're going to die on the soul campfires, and then underneath the soul sand, we have hoppers to pick up all their drops. And this layers upwards. I'm not sure how many layers we're going to do, but we're going to see how many the video recommends. We're totally just doing a tutorial for this because I've never built one of these. This is my first experience. So welcome to my first hoglin farm experience. It's very fun, really easy, and apparently super overpowered. So let's keep building this up. Alright, we got all the walls in place, we got all the warped fungus and the dirt in place. Our next step is going to involve trapdoors again. We're going to place 5 on each end like this so they get tricked into walking off. Their AI is going to think it's a solid block. They're going to think it's a solid 2 blocks when it's really a 2-block gap. And because of that, they're just going to fall down there, and that's when they're going to burn on the soul sand, which we are going to set on fire, and that's the plan for that. But then we're going to go up 1, 2, and then we're going to start the next layer. This is a 2-layer farm. It's going to be very efficient. This is just for food, and we probably don't need this much, but it's also going to give us a very plentiful amount of leather. And that's going to be very useful for item frames. It's going to be very useful for our custom skulls as the crafting recipe. It involves a leather and a spider eye for each head, I believe. So this is going to help with that. The spider eyes aren't an issue because we don't use those for anything else. And we're just going to copy everything up 1 level like that. including the walls and the warped fungi though, and then we'll cut back and show you guys the other stuff. Alright, so we're cutting back in right now, and I'm realizing we're literally one wall short. It must have dropped somewhere when we were messing up, but we don't have a wall right here. We're gonna have to remember and come back to fix that, because honestly, I can't be bothered right now. I want to get this Hoglin farm done because we're down to 13 pork chops, and after that, we're eating melons. Guys, melons take a long time to fill your hunger bar. Alright, so we're nearing the end of the farm. We need to place these 5 trapdoors in on these sides again. And wait, yeah, that's 5, 5 again, and let's flip all those downwards like they should be. And once we get that done, we basically are about to move on to the AFK platform. But first, the last part before the AFK platform, we need to put 12 trapdoors down around this. And then once we flip these up, what we need to do next is place down, here's our 7 buttons. It doesn't matter which configuration you place them in, because what you're doing next is going to be placing netherrack down up to build height, and then we're going to be placing ladders on this. So once I get this placed up to build height, I'll be right back and show you guys what it looks like. Alright, so by this message you can see we reached the height limit at 255, and we can't see anything up here. I don't know if the farm has activated yet, which we forgot to put the fire in. So that would be pretty unfortunate, but oh boy, it has. Okay, so let's go ahead and get a flint and steel from the overworld. I didn't prepare enough fire charges because I didn't think we'd be lighting the soul sand. So let's go grab that real quick, and we will be right back to place the ladders down and AFK and see how much we can make in, let's say, 10 minutes. I want to see how much 10 minutes can get us. I don't like AFKing, so we'll probably do a little fiddling around with the farm in that 10 minutes. Let's take care of that flint and steel problem. Alright, so we're returning to the portal. I believe it's right over here in this general area. I think we're a bit more up this way, but we did end up going about 3,000 blocks out one way and about 500 the other on accident, because I forgot that nether travel is a lot further than, like, 4 blocks there is 1 block here. We're actually right by the end portal, but we also forgot to grab a wall on our way back, which is fine. Honestly, we could destroy these just to place them in. Oh, there's a baby though. Okay, well, once these guys start heading out, we're gonna leave 1 spot open so we can get in when we need to. And these guys are just menaces right now. So I'll be back when I get all this fire in, because it's going to take me a while, guys. I mean, as you see, they're pretty hostile, but we're also getting a lot of materials already. Like, we've probably gotten half a stack of pork chops just from trying to get the fire in here. So yeah, let's get the fire in, let's get the ladders up, and I'll be right back at the AFK platform, and yeah. Okay, we got all the fire in. We're placing back the netherrack right now. I think some fell into the chests. We're also going to stock up on our food though, because that's something we don't want to run out of, and I'm definitely going to forget. So we need 1 more netherrack. Let's grab that from the chest. We did put our chest plate on because it got pretty dicey in there, especially when I got knocked into the fire, but we made it out alive, which is very rare for me when I'm dealing with things in the nether. So that's a big bonus. We're honestly not even going to AFK because, I mean, look at all this food we already got. We're clearly going to get enough just when we come back and build this up, and we're just going to use that as an excuse to come back and do that soon. But for now, let's get the ladders in at least, and I'll meet you guys back in the overworld. Alright, so we made it back to the overworld through the portal. We're going to try something interesting though. So let's find our end portal and try to get back to our base that way. It's going to be a lot quicker because the plan is, here we go, it's going to be right over here, but our bed spawn set is right in our base, so if we go into the end and through the end portal back, it should just teleport us right over there. So now we're at the portal, we're in the end, so spooky. Trust me, this isn't all we got, this is like half of what we got. It was so fast. Okay. Yeah, here's our spawn point right now. We made it back to the creeper farm. We have a creeper farm, a sugarcane farm, a hoglin farm, and we will update the sugarcane farm eventually. It's very small, but it's automatic, and it runs in the background while I build over here. And honestly, I build over here so much, I have about 2 double chests of sugarcane. Like, let's take a quick overhead look of this area in free cam mode, and you guys can just see how massive this is. Like, it looks tiny when you're comparing it to that stuff, the big platforms we're going to be building on, but this itself is like a mega project, because right now we have been working on these 3 buildings. I'm trying something with dripstone. It's very new for me, so I'm experimenting, but we need to get roofs on these 2, and I've just been going through the city, and I love it. This is my favorite house right now. I did use it for the 1,000 days video, because I reached day 1,000 on our stream. We're on day 1,023. Let me know what you guys thought of this episode. Like, once we get all of this stuff done, I'm thinking about doing a world tour. Let me know if you guys want me to use shaders or not for that, though, because that's going to be a really long video, probably about 20-30 minutes just to go through everything. We don't have a ton of interiors done, so it won't be that long, maybe, but we'll see what happens. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you did enjoy, and I'll catch you guys next time.